Hello, and welcome How to Follow Your Heart to Your Dream Career. My name is Scotty Moser, and I'll begin by telling you a little bit about myself. Um, I was a lawyer for about 12 years, and then I kind of left that path behind to focus on being a career coach and teacher. Um, for the last 3 of those years in the legal field, I had this niggling feeling that something was wrong, that this wasn't my path anymore, and that I should be doing something else. But I was just making such great money and I was having a family that I felt that I didn't have time to switch. And then I was in the unique position that the bottom fell out of the oil market. And so I kind of just got to watch my career wither up under me. And it was like the universe was saying to me, okay, now you're going to do something else. And so I saw several career coaches during that time that I was trying to figure out what to do. And it really seemed like a long and difficult process to figure out what was right for me. And I got really frustrated, so I kind of threw out to the universe, isn't there an easier way to do this? And the message that I got back is yes, there is, but it's going to look a little different and be a little less traditional than the process that everyone accepts as normal right now. And I decided that I would like to know a little bit more about the faster way. And that's how this program was born, how it came into being. My career coaching is spirit led. And what I mean by that is I believe in God. I usually don't use the word God because a lot of people, when you say God, they carry a lot of baggage into the conversation. And what they mean is maybe not necessarily what I mean. And it's just easier for purposes of finding a career path to skip around a lot of those issues. And so I usually use the word spirit or universe or source energy to convey the higher power that I'm talking about. I believe that God works through angels and spirit guides, and that we all have our angels and spirit guides, and that they communicate with us. And finally, I believe that each of us has a GPS system that we are born with. And this GPS system knows where we should be going, and it will guide us to the path of least resistance, the fastest path to get us to where we have decided before we were born to where we are meant to go and what we are meant to accomplish in this life. And so those are my big beliefs and principles that my career coaching foundation is built on. Following your heart to a dream career is just a simple process of tuning in and listening to this GPS system. Now, in my experience, it's not difficult. It's not this big, complicated thing. Spirit is pounding at the door, trying to get through to us. They're not trying to hide the ball. The ball's right out there. We just have to adjust our tuner and maybe some of our perceptions about life to tune ourselves in to our dreams. A lot of us throughout our childhood have gotten sort of systematically tuned out. And following your heart to your dream career is just a really fun process of getting back to what we were meant to do. My approach combines some of the more traditional methods and with some of the more different ideas that Spirit has given me. And so in this video, we're going to go over 3 ways to tune into our big purpose. And what we're trying to get at is our big, I can't believe I have this dream, but I can't even believe that I can do it. Like, it's too big. That's what we want. We want to get that out there because that will accomplish 2 things. Once we have that clarity, we will almost involuntarily start taking steps towards moving ourselves closer to it. And the second is even more important, and it's that once we have the clarity of what we want, the universe will start to bring it to us. And once you have clarity and intent, all the power of the universe really comes to your assistance to help you accomplish your dreams. And so, figuring out what you want is the first part of the three-part process of getting what you want. And part two is removing any mental blocks, and part three is receiving. But today, for purposes of this discussion, we're just focused on figuring out what you want. And like I said, there's no magic to it. I'm going to give you 3 methods to get clarity on your dream career. And the first one is to make a list of what you like to do. And the trick to this step is turning your mind off. We don't want a lot of mental chatter like, don't put that down, you can never make money on this. You might like it, but it's not feasible. We want to just click, turn that button in our head off and make our list. And some people will be able to do this really easily. They'll bam, 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 have 20 things down. But if you're like me, it may not come so easy. This is how I did my list. I like to read. Wrote down read. I like to go boating. Wrote down go boating. And then I thought to myself, should I even put that down? That's not really career related. Oh, I'm not supposed to be thinking rationally and logically. Turn that off. What else do I like to do? What else do I like to do? I like to hang out with my friends. So I wrote that down. And I think to myself, I like to surf the internet. I surf the internet quite a bit. That's what I spend a lot of my time doing. Research, we can call that research. So I wrote down research. Okay, so now I have 4 things. That's all I like to do, really, 4 things. How in the hell am I ever going to make a career out of these 4 things, 2 of which most people would consider pretty boring? And so this is when we take if you have a list like this, if you're not one of those people that got 20 things right off the bat, this is where you take it nuclear. And you list everyone that you're jealous of. And so for me, my jealous of list included the Pioneer Woman and lots of writers and bloggers. And what this does is this jealousy is a reaction in you. The universe is showing what you want, and your emotional reaction is you're connecting with that. And for example, I like the Pioneer Woman because, well, besides the fact that she has a beautiful kitchen and she can cook, and probably pretty much everyone wants her life, but I really was drawn to the fact, I discovered later, that she writes a lot and posts pictures and makes a living, makes a lot of money off of doing those things. And so I had I had my little list of bloggers and writers that I was jealous of. And then to even get more clarity, I made a list of people I immensely disliked. And you can do this too. Now, this is a little bit trickier because there's probably some people out there that you dislike for other reasons than deep, deep jealousy that has actually turned into dislike. And you'll know that when you write them down. So when you go back through, just cross those people off of your list. For example, on my list, I had Serena Dyer. Now, Serena Dyer is Wayne Dyer's daughter, and Wayne Dyer is a big spiritual leader. He's now deceased, but he's pretty famous, written a ton of books. And I was reading one of her books, and I got to the part where she says, oh, I decided that I wanted to write this book, so I called up my dad's buddy. He's a big publisher of Hay House. Hay House is probably the world's biggest publisher of spiritual books. I called up my dad's buddy, this publisher, and I ran my book idea past him, and he said, sure, write it, we'll publish it, it'll be great. And I closed the book, and I did not like her, and I was done. Now, I felt like that because she had something that I really, really wanted that I wasn't admitting to myself. The fact is that I wanted to write a book, and my path to publication was going to be a lot different than her path to publication. And now I'm fine with it, but then I wasn't. But those emotions were a big sign waving at me. This is what you want. You want this. This is part of your big dream. And pay attention to those things. For example, if someone had come up to me and said, wow, my dad's buddy got me a ton of hours, unlimited hours swimming at an Olympic-sized pool, or my dad's buddy got me an audition for a Broadway play. None of those things would have made any difference to me. I would have been just like, oh, that's great, because they weren't part of my big dream, so they weren't triggering any emotion in me. So what you're looking for is those big triggers that are really going to kick emotion to you. Once you have your list, of people and things, you're gonna relax and you're gonna set your intent to show you how these things intertwine with your career path. And you're just gonna let your eyes drift down your list. And what you're looking for is the inner dings, the inner knowings. Oprah calls them the aha moments. And you might get some of those the first time you go through it, but you might not. And if you don't, that's okay. You're just going to leave yourself open and keep focusing on that intent for knowledge, that intent to know. And gradually, as time passes, that knowing and those messages of how this all fits together is going to become clearer to you. It will, I promise. Okay, that's the first method. The second method is to visualize your ideal day. And just to take a few minutes to do this before you go to sleep, and let yourself go big. It's your dream, and it's your 5 minutes before bed. So don't put any realistic holds on it. Just let yourself go. I wasn't very good at doing this when I first started. My vision, my ideal day was all fuzzy. I had like 2 things that I was doing, and I didn't know where I was doing them, and I didn't know what or how, because I was letting my logic and what I thought I could do get in the way of what I actually wanted to do. And so I kept doing it. And as I practiced, my ideal day got clearer and clearer. And sure enough, I started to move closer and closer towards my ideal day. Sometimes people say to me, I can't do this one because I don't have an imagination. I can't imagine anything. So what I say to them is, do you ever worry? Do you ever construct scenarios in your mind and get yourself all worked up into a fit of anxiety? And most of the time they say yes, and that's when I get to congratulate them, because they do in fact have an imagination. They're just using it improperly for all sorts of bad things, when they could be putting it to much more helpful uses. So that is the second way to get clarity, is visualize your ideal day. And the third way is a little bit more advanced. If you hate meditation, don't try this. A lot of millennials, I think, are really going to connect with this and be good at it faster. But if you're not, don't freak out. This is a meditation to connect, to receive thought as to your life plan and purpose. And this is essentially what I do. Before my first coaching session, I set my intent, I connect with the person, I set my intent to receive whatever information, source, and their guides want me to have about them, and I receive it, and I write it down, and it's a blueprint of their big dream, their big thing. Maybe not their whole path, but kind of an outline. And here's how I do it. I just get really quiet and relaxed. And sometimes I can just breathe rhythmically and relax that way. Other times my mind is a little bit busier, and so I have to mix it up. Like I'll breathe in really fast and out really slow, and then I'll do the opposite. And what this does is it focuses my mind on my breath, and it gets my mind to shut off and into the receptive mode. It can take anywhere from 30 seconds to 15 minutes to get into the receptive mode. If you're not there after 15 minutes, I would just quit for the day and try it again some other time. If you can't get your mind shut off after that long, you're probably just going to start to get frustrated. So probably 15 minutes max. So what you do is you get your mind really relaxed, and you'll feel blocks of thought coming in, and you'll start to translate them into what you recognize as a thought so insistent that it cannot be denied. It'll be a really strong thought. I describe it as someone putting a flash drive into you, and your body processes the information, and you'll just get information and knowledge downloaded that you didn't have before. And millennials can be pretty good at this because they don't have as much programming that it's not possible or that it's weird or anything like that. And so a lot of people are just going to be able to skip right to the step. And if you can, good for you. You don't need a career coach. You are tuned in to your own GPS system. If you can't tune in right away, like I said, there's no magic to it. You just keep practicing and don't get frustrated about how fast you're tuning in or not, because it will happen. I promise you, it will. And that's it. That's the 3 ways. The first way is to make a list of what you like. Maybe take it nuclear and write down people that you're jealous of. The second way is to visualize your perfect day. And the third way is to do a meditation and receive thought and guidance that way. Right now, I'm offering a special for those of you who want a little extra help with this process. I'm calling it my Blueprint Special. And what I do is you'll sign up. It's $97, and I will tune in on your behalf, and I will deliver to you via a 45-minute phone conversation your career blueprint. And I'll follow it up with a little written summary after our call. But it's easy. Probably don't even need me. If you do, feel free to check out my website. It's all listed down below. Hopefully I can figure out how to put that in. And the next video in this series, I think, will be taking inspired action. But so stay tuned for that. Thanks, everyone.